What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on with this football club? Welcome back to the channel for another live stream. I had to go live for this because I've had to gather my thoughts between full time and now to really get a proper stream with facts and stats and stuff like that to actually give me a proper argument based on my point. But I generally do not know what is going wrong at Newport County right now. So it's just a mess. It's just an absolute fucking mess. Lost again today against the Barrow side, who, to be fair, are a decent side. Did we make them look decent? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely did we make them look decent today. We could not string 4 fucking passes together. The players have down-tooled. The players do not care. The players don't want to play for this fucking manager. He's out of his depth. He is fucking out of his depth. I've had enough. I've absolutely fucking had enough. And I don't want people saying, I get what you're feeling, I understand this, that, and the other. No, you fucking don't. The manager has not got a fucking clue what he's doing. Subs, again, awful. Tactics, awful. You can clearly see what Barrow were trying to do today, and did we counteract it? No. Did we allow Barrow to play? Yes. We've got Carlisle on Saturday. Forget fucking Forest Green Rovers in the Papa John's trophy. I don't give a shit about that. Don't give a fucking shit about the pizza trophy right now. Next Saturday, we've got Carlisle United in the league. Do I think we're going to win that? Absolutely not. I think we'll lose again. And then, when do we win? When do we get another win? I don't get it. I really don't get it. 2 or 3 games in, you can maybe say it's a bit of a concern. This is not a concern. This is a huge issue. Look, we sit 19th after 9 games, 2 wins, 1 draw, 6 defeats. We've lost the second highest out of the entire fucking league. Only Rochdale have lost 1 more than us this season. I can't believe this. I absolutely can't believe this. I'm looking at it and the players don't look arsed. The players can't be bothered. They're walking. They're misplacing passes. Yesterday, I was looking at this game thinking, do you know what? We've got a chance. We've got a chance. We're the underdog. They're third in the league. We're really having a weird season. Let's just go into it with the underdog mentality. Let's go in with the underdog mentality and let's say, look, they're favourites. Let's go and beat them then. And we didn't. We didn't turn up. We did not turn up. Passes going astray, putting balls out of play, passing to players that have got 4 players around them. We have a free kick on the halfway line, and there's 3 Barrow players around the player who's about to take the free kick. And instead of waiting for those Barrow players to walk away and then put one into the box, we play a quick free kick and we lose the ball. I don't care anymore. Look, if people want to come and say Rowberry should stay, entitled to your opinion. Absolutely entitled to your opinion. I think you're wrong. And I think that it's absolutely pathetic. But I respect your opinion. I will never, ever slate anyone or have a go at someone for their opinion. We'll never do that. If your opinion is to stick with James Rowberry and just hope that things get better, then fair play. Fair play. At least you're coming out and saying it. At least you are coming out and saying it. When you set up a team to play against the Barrow team, who literally had 1 game plan, was to absolutely isolate us in the middle. Sam Foley, excellent today for them. Josh Gordon, fantastic, stretching us, completely stretched us. They were fantastic. Don't get me wrong. They were good. They were very good. Did we make them look good? Did we make them look good? Yes. I will stand by my point and say that we made Barrow look good today. Were they the best team we've played this season? No. I think the best team we've played this season is Salford, by the way. I think the best team we've played this season are Salford City. Unbelievable side they were when they came to Rodney Parade. And we scored 2 goals past them. When I watched that today, I was just at boiling point. I was at boiling point. I was like, I really can't be asked for this. I was literally watching the clouds. I was watching the clouds. That was more entertaining. I was thinking during the game, what can we do to change this? What subs can we do? What tactical tweaks can we make to this game to improve the way we're playing, to change the way the game is going? And everything that me, friends, people that are watching the game, any fan could see, James Rowberry didn't do. James Rowberry refused not to do. There was so many tactical errors in that game that it just proved to me that I don't think he's tactically good enough. Some people saying he shouldn't have never got the job. I think that's maybe a bit too rude. I'm not too sure on that. You know, maybe it might be the right sort of the right conclusion to make. Sean, I've literally seen you spam constantly, mate, so I'm going to time you out because I can't be fucking arsed with that right now. The performance today was embarrassing. I'll just quickly get sort of this up, right? So we go 1-0 down at half-time. The first goal was an awful goal to concede. Don't get me wrong, the first goal was an awful goal to concede. The ball gets into Josh Gordon from, I think it was Neil, slips it into Josh Gordon. Townsend maybe could have done a bit better. He slots it past him, 1-0. First half we were absolutely abysmal. Couldn't string a pass together. We had a couple of chances just on the end. And he scores it. Fair play, 1-0. And then I don't know what happens, but we come out of the second half like we're 6-0 down. Like we can't be asked. We come out of that second half like we don't care. Like we just don't want to be there. When we get the ball, it's like one pass off the pitch or, one pass to a Barrow player. There's no organisation and there's no leadership in that team from that performance. Yes, there's leaders in the team. Mickey Demetrio, Scott Bennett, leadership type players. I'm not saying there's not. What I am saying is there was nothing in that performance that suggested we were a top 7 team, a top 10 team, for example. Based off that, I could barely see us get top half. Barely see us get top half. I mean, I'm thinking of adding, doing James Rowberry's press conference reaction tomorrow. I'm not too sure. But anyway, so going into the second half, we don't turn up. They score on the 59th minute from the penalty. Now, the ball gets played to the left-hand side. Hayden Lindley comes right over across to... I can't remember who got brought down. I think it might have been Josh Gordon. But Hayden Lindley comes right from behind, takes Josh Gordon out, penalty to Barrow. There's no arguments about the penalty. 100% a penalty. I don't think anyone would disagree with it. It's definitely a penalty. So the penalty obviously gets given. Josh Gordon scores it, 2-0. Yeah, all right. Look, Barrow fans are excited, and fair play to them. But anyway, back to my point. So 59th minute, when Josh Gordon scores. It takes 10 minutes, 10 whole minutes, for our manager to react. We concede the second goal on the 59th minute. His first sub is on the 69th minute. This gets better. This gets absolutely better. Don't worry, guys. It gets better than this. So he makes one sub 10 minutes after going 2-0 down. First of all, that's the first thing. And then he waits another 9 minutes to make the second sub. Bear in mind, at this point, Barrow are 2-0 up, and they've made 2 substitutions at this point. So then he makes his second substitution, brings on Chankazimba for Hayden Lindley, which I think was a good sub. The first one he made was Will Evans on for James Waite. I just don't see what the difference between them scoring the second and 10 minutes later to bring Will Evans on. I just don't see the gap between. I don't see why you couldn't have changed it in that gap. You go 2-0 down, you're like, right, this is embarrassing. We're losing 2-0, we're playing awful, we can't pass the fucking ball, let's go and bring someone on. You're looking at the bench, right? The bench today. Aaron Lewis, could have brought him on. Sam Bowen, could have brought him on. You know, there's 2 players on there that could easily have come on and added something to our performance. Cameron Norman, again, was suspect. I think he goes forward a lot and just doesn't track back enough. I think Adam Lewis was trying too much at times, and it just seemed all a bit too desperate. I think at 2-0, it was too desperate. At 2-0 down, it was game over. It was game over at 2-0. I think it was game over at 1-0, to be honest. I don't think we can take anything from that performance. Look at the vote. 30% or 29% of you saying James Rowberry to stay. 71% saying get rid of him. Look, I don't want this to be a James Rowberry slander. I've had my little rant. Now it's time to actually bring some stats and facts into it, because it's all right talking about my opinion and just give an opinion on it. Let's give some actual stats to back up this argument, because it's not just about, you know, my thoughts on it. It's also about what is plainly right in front of us. So, outs. Padraig Amond, Ryan Haynes, Alex Fisher, not really. Courtney Baker-Richardson, Dom Telford. That is some very important players. Ryan Haynes was a massive part of our team. Courtney Baker-Richardson and Dom Telford were, look, very, very good players for us last season. So, straight away, you've lost few very important players to the system and very important players to the way we want to play, the system and the way we want to play. So already you've lost Ryan Haynes, who, apart from Dan Butler, is probably one of the best left-wing backs we've seen in recent years at Newport. Gets forward, gets into the final third, but has the energy to track back. Fantastic player. Dom Telford scored a lot of goals for us last season, but Courtney Baker-Richardson helped him in that front too. It was a Courtney Baker-Richardson, Dom Telford partnership. One would lay it off to the other, and it would be intricate between the front two. So already lost, you know, some pivotal players in that team. Then you look at the signings. Now, this is where it could get potentially not controversial, but sort of questioning the manager, for example. So we'll start off with the first one. Will Evans, signed from the Welsh Premier League, sort of unknown a little bit, rarely plays. In and out of the team, comes off the bench, mostly on the bench every week. Obviously, with signings, you're going to get some wrong. Don't get me wrong, you are going to get some wrong. But it's... We'll get into it. Aaron Wildig, injured. Zanzala, injured. Thierry Nevers, you know, his first game was bright, but ever since then it's sort of dropped off a little bit. Sam Bowen, benched. Zimba, benched. Drysdale is now on the bench. Injured, but, doesn't play. Adam Lewis, still something in Adam Lewis, I think. I think there is still something in Adam Lewis. Omar Bogle, very good for us so far. Very, scoring goals. Nathan Mariah Welsh, again, has probably been one of our better players. Hayden Lindley gave away the penalty today on his Newport debut and then got subbed off. And that's it. So, out of those signings, look, this is James Rowberry's window. When you talk about a manager, you have to look at the signings they make. You have to look at everything. You have to look at everything. Now, Hayden Lindley, I like. I think he could be good. I think he could be good for us. Nathan Mariah-Welsh as well. He could be good. Bogle, yes. Adam Lewis looks decent. Drysdale, yes. Zimba, don't see enough of him. Sam Bowen, not seen enough of him. Thierry Nevers, again, could be good. Zanzala got injured. Wildig got injured. Evans benched. Look, when you sign players, you've got to look at everything. You've got to look at their injury record. You've got to look at, are they going to be fit for you every single week? Are they going to be available every single week? Aaron Wildig gets injured. Surely that's got to come down to the recruitment. Surely, when you sign a player, you have to look at sort of what their injury record are, what their health record is, and stuff like this. Because if you sign a player and then they instantly get injured, what does that show? That shows, A, the medical recruitment sort of history team basically are shit. And also, if those medical team then send the report to the manager or to the sporting director or the technical director or anyone who deals with the transfers, if they then say, oh yeah, don't worry about that, we'll still sign him, then it shows the coaching staff, the manager and the sporting director or whatever the director of football sort of target or name is, it shows they're out of their depth. It shows that they're clueless. If you get a report for a player and it says injured, constantly injured, yet you still go and sign them. Look, I know some of them are loan signings. I get that. Some of them are loan signings. But Aaron Wildig is not a loan signing. Ofrande Zanzala is not a loan signing. So those two players, there's two players straight away that have got injured in 2 months of the season. And, you know, what's the explanation for it? What is the explanation for it? Right, let me read a few comments. I don't want to miss any comments out. As a neutral, it has to be said you'll never get a manager as good as Flynn and Podrigamond and Dom Telford is a big miss as well. Could see one, yeah. Lennon is not holding back at all. He says, sack him. Evening, mate. Hope you're well in terms of life, maybe not football. Remember when I said at the start of the season, Rowberry needs a good start. He had most of the season last season, and he's had 2 transfer windows, January and this summer. And that's another point. That is what I'm trying to say. The majority of this squad, all right, albeit there's a few players in. There's a bit of Michael Flynn's team. Actually, let's just have a look at this because, you know, when you sort of analyse a manager's performance, you've also got to take into account the sort of squad that he's inherited, or you know, the players he's inherited from a previous team. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive to the fact to say if this is not Rowberry's team, I wouldn't be as harsh as I probably am now on James Rowberry, just because obviously this is not all his team. So the goalkeepers are obviously Flynn's, and then you've got Drysdale, you've got Adam Lewis, which is 2 defenders. You've then got Bowen, Lindley, Mariah-Welsh, Wildig, Will Evans. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 midfielders. 5 of our midfielders are Rowberry's. And then the strikers, Bogle, Zanzala, Zimba and Nevers. So all of our strikers are Rowberry's, and 5 of our midfielders and 3 of our defenders are Rowberry's. So already he's got like 12, 13 players out of this squad that are his. So surely it doesn't come down to, oh, but look at this team he inherited. You know, he's got Flynn's players. Most of this team are his now. Most of this team is James Rowberry's. I think if, and it's a big ask, but if he does get another transfer window, then, well, if he gets another transfer window, I'll definitely I'll definitely be putting in my thoughts on that. But if he does get another transfer window, then he's probably going to get another 4 or 5 players in, maybe 2 or 3 out. And then that's like nearly 20 players of his out of this squad. So you cannot then blame, look at the team he inherited, look at Michael Flynn's players that he's inherited. It's just a pointless and pathetic, naive argument. It just doesn't make any sense. Just to go through more. Paul says, hi Mike, in or out? I voted in. I haven't voted myself because I don't want to affect the vote if I could. I can't even vote anyway because it's on my thing. Let's just go through a few more. Playoffs are off limits this season if we carry on like this. Mate, we are sleepwalking into relegation. I don't care if this is sort of over the top, overreacting. We are sleepwalking ourselves into a relegation battle. I've not checked his interview yet. To be honest, I don't want to listen to him at the moment. Can't wait to play Leyton Orient. Mate, we are getting pumped by Carlisle. We're not beating Carlisle. Don't even think about Leyton Orient or Northampton or, well, even, I think we'd even lose to Hartlepool or Rochdale at the moment. That's how poor we are. Look, Barrow, on paper, Barrow are not good. Let's be honest. On paper, they're not that good. But under a system, under a team that wants to play for each other, you saw it full time today. Full time today, those Barrow players went straight over to the fans, clapped the fans, and give a fist pump to the fans because they know that realistically they should not be in the position that they are. They're probably over the moon being second in the league at the moment. Barrow. Let's call a spade a spade. They're probably unbelievably just shocked that they are second. So they've gone over to the fans. They've showed to the fans how much they appreciate the fans' support for coming to watch them and for being a part of the team. Where our players just walked down the tunnel. A few clapped. Don't get me wrong. A few did clap. Thierry Nevers just put his hands up like that as if to blame himself. But James Rowberry, he's getting booed and he's walking down and he's walking down the tunnel clapping. He's literally getting booed by the Newport fans and he's clapping the fans. I'm like, what are you doing? Read the room. The fans are angry. The fans are pissed off. They're booing you and you're clapping it. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. I don't know what happens going forward. I wish I could tell you what's going to happen going forward. Whether James Rowberry gets the Carlisle game, I don't know. Whether he gets the Carlisle game, should he get the Carlisle game? That is the question. Let me know in the chat. Should James Rowberry get the Carlisle game? I would do it now. If I was Gavin Foxall, I would do it now. I'm not saying I'm completely and utterly Rowberry out. However, what I am saying is if you give him the Carlisle game and we get battered there or, we get embarrassed against Carlisle, that's another 3 points dropped. And if teams around us pick points up, we could be in the bottom 2, sorry. Don't get me wrong. I know that would be 10 games into the season, but that's nearly a quarter of the season that we've wasted with this manager. Michael Flynn was arguably probably in a better position with the squad that he's got when Michael Flynn left. James Rowberry inherited a good squad when he came in. They were just off it, I think, when Flynn left. And not only that, Flynn didn't get sacked. Flynn left on mutual terms. He wanted a new sort of challenge, and we sort of we didn't put too much in the way of stopping that. We sort of just said, go on then, good luck, best of luck for the future. What a legend you are to this football club. And we just let Michael Flynn go. And I think that's the best way we've done that. I didn't want us to get to a point with Flynn where we had to sack him. And that's a manager that kept us in the fucking Football League. That is a manager that kept us from going into fucking non-league. And this James Rowberry has not done anything. James Rowberry has not done anything for us. In fact, he has probably regressed us as a football club. He's probably regressed us as a football club. Where we were under Michael Flynn, we are absolutely fucked compared to that. Did Rowberry get backed in the summer? Yes. He got the players he wanted. He said in an interview towards the end of last season, I think, that he said we're gonna need at least 10 through the door. We're gonna need at least 10 through the door. Obviously, with players leaving, it maybe would have been more, but he said we'll need around 10 in the transfer window, and I think he got 11, was it? So he's clearly been backed. He's clearly got players that he wanted to come in. He's got his assistant manager, Cal Serrant, who I think is a better coach than James Rowberry. Cal Serrant, I think he's actually better. Look, I probably would do it. I probably would pull the plug on James Rowberry, and I know that may be controversial. I know it may be harsh, and I know it may not fit with what your opinions are. Well, I don't care. The great thing about football, the great thing about fan opinion, is we all have an opinion. We all have a way of thinking, and we all have a way in which we want our club to go forward. I probably would just let it go now. I'll just cut the ties now. I'm not saying James Rowberry out, but like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the longer this goes on, the worse it gets, the harder it is for a manager to come in and help this team, because it's going to get to a point where these players are like, well, I can't be asked, and they're just walking around like they were today. The last 10, 15 minutes today, they were walking. They were walking to passes. They were, the ball would go 2 yards away, and instead of full sprinting, get hold of the ball, it was like, oh, the ball's gone. You just leave it, and just the throwing of the hands in the air, the gestures just told you they don't care. They're not playing for this guy. They are not playing for this guy. It's clearly obvious to see that he's lost the players. He's lost a lot of the fan support. And as soon as that happens, then you're in trouble. Jeff says, think of his family. What do you mean, think of his family? What? So because he's got a family? Mate, if you're on about the financial recuperations of this, he's going to be fine. He's going to be absolutely fine. Think about our football club. Think about our fucking football club that we adore. We're not just going to put it on hold because of that. Like, seriously, I completely understand any sort of effect that it can have on that. 100% agree. But if we're going to keep hold of him because of that, then he's holding the club to ransom. Then he is absolutely holding this football club to ransom. Good evening, John. Sorry about not interacting a lot in this stream. I will try and get through your comments. Don't worry. Yeah, Carlisle are going to destroy us. Chris says we aren't good away from home, so you have hope, mate. If you're not good away from home, come to Rodney Parade and you'll beat us. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Reese says, shambles. Flinny rinsed the club. As a neutral, sack him. As a Carlisle fan, keep him. Well, I know exactly why you're going to say that. Big up to Barrow on tour. Thanks for tuning in. Jeff went to Brunton Park in the late 70s. He's going to be absolutely fine if we sack him because of the compensations. He'll be fine. Who do you replace James with, though? Anyone at the moment. Absolutely fucking anyone at the moment, mate. Look, I've had enough. At full time, look, I'll be honest, right? At full time today, I was like, right, we've got to just evaluate this. Maybe it can get better. Maybe, we can turn this around sort of thing. And I was confident maybe we could do that. And then I got home. I looked at more facts. I looked at the signings. because there's different parts of this. The signings, the tactics, the subs, the approach to games, the press conferences. That's 6 things already that I've noticed that I just don't think he's good enough. Right, we'll move on to each of them before we get into more comments. The subs, makes them too late, makes the wrong subs. The press conferences, he approaches the press conferences in the completely and utterly crap way. Tactics, he doesn't set up in the way that you're going to win the game. Yes, you don't look at the teams and build your tactics on the team, but you've got to take some consideration into what that team will play. 3. 4, the sort of substitutions during the game. He just doesn't have a clue of what players should be brought into what position, what players fit different systems. And the next one, the signings. The signings that he's made, realistically, how many has worked completely out? I don't think many of you could genuinely say, out of the 11 signings he's made, how many could you hand on heart say unbelievable bit of business? I'll probably say Bogle, and that's it. You need a manager who knows the club or has experience in this league. This is controversial. This may be controversial. I do not want a manager who has any connection with Newport County whatsoever. Don't want no connection with Newport County whatsoever. No person who's born in Newport, no one who's played for Newport, no one who knows of Newport, nothing. Let's get a specialist in who can do the job. Why do we have to have someone who's linked with Newport? Like James Rowberry, Newport boy. I get that. Michael Flynn obviously massively worked out. But why can't we go the different approach? Why can't we get a manager in who's been doing it in this league or has got experience of League One, League Two, the same sort of level and has success in it? Like Anonymous says, David Artell, Crew promoted and has a nice, brilliant style of football. We got absolutely dominated by Crew in the 1920 season when we won 1-0. Brilliant manager. I agree. I completely agree. David Artell has had a very good record at not just winning games of football, but playing nice football. Today, we probably played some really nice football at times, but what did we get from it? Absolutely nothing. 0, zilch, nothing. That's the problem. It's all right playing nice attacking football going forward, but it's just, I don't get it. I just do not get it. Spot on, Mike. That's why we can both love and hate the clubs we support. 100% agree. Players look lost, don't seem arsed, and some players don't have any idea what they're doing at times in games. Yeah. Look, I was at times. I'll read through the stats. So, 64% possession. 64% possession in the game, which is very good compared to their 36%. 12 shots, 1 on target. 12 shots, 1 on target. 17 fouls. Passes. This is going to blow your mind. Passes, 552 accurate, 67%. 67% accurate passes. Pathetic. Possession lost, 195 times. 44 successful dribbles. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say, because everything I've said basically hits the nail on the head. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. The manager is out of depth, and he has to go. We are going to go into that Carlisle game, and we are going to get absolutely outplayed. We are going to get absolutely destroyed against Carlisle United if we play what we played today. Look at the team, right? So, on paper, the team was set up as a 4-4-2. Townsend in goals, Norman, Farka Hassan, Demetrio, Adam Lewis, with the four in front of them, James Waite, Lindley, Bennett, Mariah Welsh, and then Bogle and Nevers. At no point in that game did I see a 4-4-2. At one point I saw three at the back. I saw Demetrio, Farkason and Norman as a three at the back, with James Waite occupying as a wing back. Sometimes I saw Mariah Welsh through the middle. I saw James Waite through the middle at times. I thought Bogle was cutting so far deep into midfield that when the ball got played up to Nevers, it was like, what do I do with it? I've not got Bogle up here with me. It just seemed all dysfunctional. Players just seemed not know what they're doing. When they get the ball, it's like, where do I go? Where do I go? We don't know where to pass. And to be honest, I know the players need to take some blame. Don't get me wrong. The players do need to take some blame for this. It's quite obvious that needs to happen because obviously they are the players and they are the players that are letting this manager down. Don't get me wrong. That is 100% my opinion on it. But the fact of the matter that not just... The annoying thing is Barrow weren't good today. Barrow weren't that good. And I know we're probably going to get Barrow fans in here or neutral fans in here saying, oh, he's only saying that because they're a shambles. But Barrow weren't that good. They were good at times. I thought Gordon was good through the middle. He absolutely annihilated us. But their midfield probably won it for them today. Robbie Gotts, Harrison Neal, and who else was it? Sam Foley. They absolutely destroyed us today. Those three midfielders against, I don't know who was in our midfield. I don't know who was in our midfield. Was it Lindley? Was it Bennett? Was it Farkason? You know, people were interchanging, and we didn't have a midfield, and they completely destroyed the midfield, got past the midfield, and then were basically in a easy position to score the first, and that's exactly how they scored the second. The ball got played to the left-hand side, which Hayden Lindley cut right across the Barrow player, took him out, penalty, goal. It doesn't even, like, one thing I could probably say that makes this sound better, I can't. Like, there's no way I can say, well, at least he brought the subs on, because he didn't. So I can't say, well, we were 1-0 down, he brought subs on to try and change the game. Just couldn't happen for us. That didn't happen. I couldn't say his tactics were good, they were just better. That didn't happen. I can't say that the actual players he picked were right and we just lost. I just, like, there's some things that you can sort of stake a claim for, and there's some things that you can defend, but that today was indefensible. Indefensible. And I know there's going to be people saying I'm overreacting. Let me just show you a few stats, because I don't think I'm overreacting. I think I'm being honest. And if you think being honest these days is now being overreacting, then what's the point? Look at the league table. Look at the league table. If it loads. This is what I mean. This is not... Actually, This is not a no-worry time. This is not a time to... Oh, don't worry, let's sit back. Let's just hope it gets better. We're sitting 19th in the league. We've lost one less game than Rochdale. The fact that Rochdale and Hartlepool still haven't won a game this season is quite crazy. But look at that. 2 wins, 1 draw, 6 defeats already this season. We've already lost... what was it? We've already lost 66% of our season. 66% of our season we've already lost. After 9 games. 33%, or, well, not even that. It's, what is it? Half of 33, so 15... 16 and a half. 16 and a half of 16.5% of our season we've won. Or whatever it is. Whatever it is. We've lost 66% of our season at the moment. And not just that, we'll go on to this as well. We'll go on to some stats. So, the summary. Matches played 9, scored 9. So we're only averaging a goal a game. I guess decent, but conceded 13. Okay. Just going through a big more. 1 big chance per game. 1. That's it. 1 big chance. 0.6 of that 1 big chance is missed. So if we have 10 big chances, 4 of them will go in. That's 6 big chances that we're missing in a game. Which is fucking embarrassing, first of all. Absolutely embarrassing. Shots on target per game, 2.8. Total shots, 11.4 per game. But yet we only get 2.8 on target. This is where I break. This is the intellectual bit. So if you're on here thinking, he doesn't know what he's on about, he's just ranting, then this is the time to go away. This is the stats part. This is where the intellectual people will break it down, we'll talk about it, and we'll actually analyse what's gone wrong. Because it's not just me blabbering on saying we're shit, we're this, we're that, he's this, he's that. This is where you break it down and you see the numbers, because these numbers do not lie. SofaScore have not lied with these numbers. They are the facts, they are the figures, and they are what is costing this manager his job. There's some more as well. Ball possession, 47, so less than half. Ball possession, less than half per game. Just based off that alone. Look at that. Accurate passes, 66%. We're not even at 75% accurate passes. We're below 70%. So every 10 passes, 3 will go astray. And if you look at that as a potential attack, if it gets to the 7th pass, the attack will break down. No chance. Because the passing accuracy is pathetic. Look at this. This is awful. Accurate long balls and crosses. Between them, barely over 50%. 59.6 for both of them. For long balls and crosses. Whereas, by the way, let me just get that in there. Over the last few seasons, we've been very good at long passes and crosses. And that's one of the stats that is the worst. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. We have synonymously been a team that can sort of get the ball into the box, use our height in the box, and create chances from crosses, from lofted balls over the top. But 38.5% and 21.1% of our crosses are accurate. 21%. That's not even a quarter of our crosses are accurate. So if we whip 4 crosses into the box per game, then not even 1 makes it successful. Not even 1. Because that's 21.1%, less than 25% is a quarter. So not even 1 of those 4 crosses gets into the box or is an accurate cross. Defending. Oh, God, this is a good one to analyse. 1 clean sheet in 9 games. Brought Declan Drysdale in. Meant to, be the solid player in the defence. For Carson, again, is absolutely shite. Absolutely shite, Priestley Farcarson. I hope he never puts that shirt on again. He was embarrassing today. Absolutely embarrassing. He was at fault for the goals. And, you know, we're not even done here. We're not even done. So clean sheets, 1. Errors leading to goal, 2. I mean, that is, again, not as bad, to be fair. Duels won per game, 50%. Okay. Not too bad. This one, I'm sorry, that is the one that I'm concerned about. Possession lost per game, 175. 175 possession lost per game. You average that out over 9 games in the league. That is embarrassing. That is concerning. That is very, very concerning that we average 175 possession loss per game. Not during the season, not during the first 9 games, which, you know, is not bad over 9 games. Per game average, 175. Nearly 200 possession loss per game. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Just to make matters even worse. Just to scare you Newport fans a little bit more. Our next game is Carlisle, like I said, but we'll cast over that a second. Our next game is Carlisle. Then it's Leyton Orient away. So Carlisle on Saturday. Leyton Orient away a week later, who are top of the league, unbeaten. One of the best teams, well, the best team this league at the moment. And then we play Rochdale in what could be a relegation 6-pointer at Rodney Parade. Bear in mind, we are one of the worst teams at home in the league. In the league, we are one of the worst teams at home. And we've got them at home. Then we travel to Crawley. Then it's Southampton, which we don't really care about. And then those next 3 games, Colchester at home, followed by Mansfield and Northampton away. If we're not in a good position I genuinely think it would be gone if we lose. Say we lose the Carlisle and Leyton Orient, I think it'll be gone before Rochdale. I don't see him lasting. I don't see him getting into October. I don't think James Rowberry will last October. Look, obviously, he'll last the Leyton Orient game, but past Leyton Orient, I don't think he will last past that Leyton Orient game into the Rochdale game, because we need to get a manager in. If we're going to do something, which, if we've got any fucking ambition about us, then we've got to do it. So if we've got any ambition, either do it now or give him the Carlisle game. If he wins that, give him the Leyton Orient game. If he loses that, then go. Because we cannot keep having these spurts of positivity and then a defeat. Spurt of positivity, defeat. We've lost 3 on the bounce in the league. Lost against Grimsby 2-0 2 weeks ago. Lost to Stevenage in midweek on Tuesday night and lost again tonight. That is 3 defeats on the bounce. We've got a Carlisle side who are better than us, a better style of play which we don't have, and a manager who knows what he's doing and tactically will put the right players in the right system. So we'll probably lose that. And then the Leyton Orient game, we'll probably lose that. And then that Rochdale game effectively becomes a 6-pointer. Because Rochdale are shit, we're shit. That Rochdale game will then become a 6-pointer. Because if you look at the table, we currently sit on 7 points. They sit on 2. If they get a couple of good results in the next 2 games, we're in serious trouble then. Serious trouble. Because we then get dragged into it. And by that Rochdale game, we could be bottom of the league or in the bottom 2. And then we could be looking at, because that'll be 12 games in. So 12 games into the season, we could be looking at a relegation battle this season. Personally, I don't see this changing. I don't see this getting any better. I think we're fucked. I think we're absolutely fucked if we stick with this manager. A few more things that I wanted to get to show you. Now, this is going to be where it really boggles your mind. Away from home this season, sit 12th. 4 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 defeats. Scored 5 goals, conceded 4. We've got a plus goal difference away from home this season. Beat Harrogate 4-0, drew with Sutton, lost to Bradford and Stevenage. That is not bad. Sitting 12th in the league on the away form. You can look at that and you can say, okay, we might not be amazing away from home, but if you can, pick points up at home, we've only lost 2 out of 4, so lost half of our away games. You're thinking, okay, maybe that can be a building block. If you lose half of your away games throughout a season, it's not the end of the world, because if you can pick points here up and there, away from home, that's decent. It's the home form is your bread and butter. Luke says this stats are horrendous. This gets even worse. Wait till you see this. So 12th on away form, not bad. Home form, 23rd. 23rd for our home form. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. That is our home form this season. 5 games, 1 win, 4 defeats. Scored 4, conceded 9. Apart from Rochdale, we are embarrassingly bad at home. Embarrassingly bad at home. And what we've been for the last 5-6 seasons is always been solid at home, pathetic away from home. And we've managed to finish where we have because of our insane home form and our insane home record. That's why we've always been where we've been. That's why we've challenged for playoffs. That's why we've stayed up in that Great Escape season. Because of our home form was so strong, and people would come to Rodney Parade thinking, right, we may generally have already lost this because they're so good at home. And you look at it and you're thinking, we're going to Rodney Parade. That's a tough place to go. Now, if you are on bad form, come to Rodney Parade. If you're on bad form, come to Rodney Parade. We'll give you 3 points. Guaranteed. We won't make it hard for you. We'll just stand away. We'll just stand to the side and we'll just say, come on, come and beat us. Because that's what we are at the moment. That's what we are. We are pathetic at home, but half decent away from home, which is not what a strong team, what a successful team should be built on. It should be built on the home form being solid, something you can rely on, and then picking points away from home. That's what a solid team should be. It should be 80 to 90% successful at home, 50, 60% successful away from home. If you do that, you're in for a cracking season. But we are... The position we're in, we barely win at home, and we might nick a draw away from home. Another thing to sort of talk on. We're looking at our away form, saying the away form is decent, and it's a positive to take. The only reason that away form looks half decent is because we beat Harrogate 4-0 away from home. You take that 4-0 away from home against Harrogate, and then you're now looking at, let me just pull it up. If you take that 4-0 away win at Harrogate, you're looking at 1 point on the road with, we'll say we draw, say we win that 1-0. Say we win that 1-0, against Harrogate. We're looking at 2 goals in 4 away games and 4 in 4 home games, which is absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Look, whatever our ambitions were at the start of the season, whether they were potentially playoffs, automatics, as a few people said, personally, I think it should just be staying in the league at this point. I know that may sound overreactory. Is it really that desperate at the moment? But yeah, I would say right now, the main aim is stay in this league. The main aim is to stay in this division at this moment in time, because the only way we're going is down. You know, the players don't look like they can be bothered. The players don't look like they want to be there. It just looks all messed up. Do you know what it feels like? What it feels like at the moment is Rowberry's come in to this team, looked at the team, the Flynn side, I mean. Look, if you want to come in and have your opinion, do it. You know, just don't come in and say someone hasn't got a clue what they're on about. What we saw today was pathetic. What we've saw all season, pathetic. Whether the manager's good enough, whether he's not, I say he isn't. If you say he is, then that's good for you. Because at the moment, I don't see where this team goes. I don't see where this team progresses at the moment. Because when you've got a manager who is not good enough, if Rowberry isn't, then how do you expect those players to listen to him? How do you expect the players to say, right, Gaffer, yeah, we're involved in this. We're looking into this project. You can't. You cannot expect the fans. You cannot expect the players to sort of engross themselves into a project if the manager doesn't know what he's on about. That's like leading the blind and hoping that they, perform a miracle for you. Greg says, Rowberry, Mike Green in right now. Look, I didn't want this to be a James Rowberry slander, because I do still think that maybe, look, it's a difficult one. I don't think he's good enough to, actually, he's not good enough at the moment, I don't think. I still think he is a decent coach. I think he's a coach. I think he's probably been over-promoted. I'd probably stand by that point, saying that James Rowberry's probably been over-promoted into a manager's role, when realistically I think his limit is a head coach, or maybe even an assistant coach or assistant manager. Mike Green vlogs as Newport manager. Yeah, imagine that. That would be something, wouldn't it? But looking at the vote, right, we've got 44% of the vote. 31% saying James Rowberry in. Now, if you're James Rowberry in, I've got absolutely 100%, 120 billion% respect for you, because you're coming out and giving your opinion. 100% agree. If you think the manager is good enough, or if you think he should stay in charge, that may be rival fans. Don't get me wrong; it might be rival fans just saying yes. Then fair enough. But if you're a genuine Newport fan and you would stick by James Rowberry, greatest respect to you. Greatest respect to you. 31% saying yes. This is out of 45 votes, by the way, at the moment. 31% say yes. 69% say no. 69% say get rid. It says it all. It says it all. I think the fans are speaking. The fans are getting their point across. And that's probably the best way for it. The fans getting their opinions across, getting their thoughts on the situation, because that's what it's all about ultimately. The manager will always get sacked. The players will always stay there. When it happens with us, we sacked Houghton after 7 games with a single point in the league and got in Steve Cooper. Look where we are now. Very true. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wasn't Rowberry? Yeah, he was the under-23s manager. He was the under-23s manager at Cardiff. Yeah, 100%. There's a difference in levels and pressure from being assistant manager and to the main manager. Yeah, look, the overarching thing that I've noticed with James Rowberry is, as an assistant manager, you're there to coach the players. You're there to help the gaffer, help the boss, be his assistant, as in the title. You don't have much pressure. You don't have to face the media. You don't have to realistically put tactics out. Again, you don't have to really make substitutions. You don't really make signings. Most of it, it's, what do you want, gaffer? Okay, gaffer, sort of thing. That's what an assistant manager realistically is. Obviously, it's probably got an element of all of that, though, to be fair. It's got an element of press conferences. Obviously, if you have to stand in for the manager. It's got an element of transfers if you've got a suggestion to make a transfer. He's got an element of the tactics. You can, suggest things to the manager. And it's got an element of substitutions. You can, again, suggest something to the manager. But you're not in a position where you say, right, you do this, you do that, we sign him, you say this sort of thing. He's not in that position. That's where I think James Rowberry's gone wrong. I think he's been over-promoted, and I think it's coming to bite him on the ass. I think his signings, again, not really good enough, realistically, not really fit the profile. Tactics, again, out of depth. Substitutions, way too late, and when he does make them, they're the wrong ones. And yeah, I think, and the press conferences, some of his press conferences, by the way, absolutely fucking awful. Absolutely fucking awful. Some of James Rowberry's press conference reactions. I don't even want to know what he said after today's game. I've purposely not watched it. I don't want to watch that press conference because I know exactly what's going to come out of his mouth. The fans need to be patient. For fucking what, James? What do we need to be fucking patient about? For you to finally fucking get it. We haven't got fucking time to be patient. We're nearly 10 games into a season. You've had a whole transfer window. You had the whole of January. You brought in Josh Pask, Rob Street. Pathetic, useless they were. You've let Ryan Haynes go. I don't even think we offered him a new contract. We let him go. That's why I can't listen to it. I cannot listen to the press conference. Because if he says any word of the fans need to be patient, the fans need to relax, the fans need to give us time, they need to help us out. No, we don't need to fucking wait. We don't need to relax. We don't need to sit back. That's not what we fucking want here. We want this club performing in the right way possible. I'm not going to be patient with this. This isn't a process. If it was a process, there would be positives to take. There was no positives today. Yes, we played well. What did that get? A 2-0 defeat. Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. This is why I never wanted Gav Skelton as manager. He's been our assistant manager for a decade at Carlisle, despite him being at Carlisle, born no manager experience. I think we should play a back five of Dolan, Clark, Farquharson. Well, absolutely not. You're either a troll. You're either a troll or an idiot. What do you achieve from that back five? Dolan, shite. Clark, too slow. Farquharson, shit. Aaron Lewis and Robbie Wilmot, potentially, but Robbie Wilmot's not even a wing back. That back five gets you fuck all. I would go all out for Artell, but it's another thing. If you sat Rowberry or get someone to replace him. Look, the problem that we've got now, and this is a massive issue. This is a huge issue that I don't think. Well, I've not even mentioned this, which is a really concerning thing that's literally just been brought to my attention by something that someone put in the chat. If say we go and sack Rowberry tonight or tomorrow, right? This I'm talking as a hypothetical. We sack Rowberry tonight or tomorrow. He's gone. His coaching staff go. Everyone's gone. Then we've got to get a new manager in. His own coach is in. Just vision this in your head as I'm going along. whole new coaching staff in, whole new manager, potentially a whole new style of play to whatever Rowberry was playing today, because I just don't know. So whatever style of play the new manager wants. Then you've also got to take into consideration, what if this new manager doesn't like these players? What happens if he comes into the team and says, well, Drysdale, he's not the centre-back for me. Omar Bogle, don't think you're the striker for me. Will Evans, you can go next season. That's the problem that you've got. You're going to bring a manager in to build on a squad that the previous manager has brought 11 new signings into. Exactly. Anonymous hits the nail right on the head. Artell, who I would give the job to right now if I had the chance. David Artell, take the job. Play a 4-3-3, but he likes to have technical ability. He likes to have players with technical ability and good wingers. Who would get into a 4-3-3 for us? It would probably be Townsend or Day in goals. The back four would probably be Norman, Demetrio, Drysdale, and then probably Adam Lewis at left back. Then a midfield of an Artell midfield would probably be Lindley. I'm not too sure would get into an Artell midfield. Probably Lindley, Bowen, Waite. He would probably play as a midfield. Probably drop James Waite a little bit in between the two sort of hold central midfielders. And then who are you going to play at wide? Robbie Wilmot. Get off it. It'd probably have to be Robbie Wilmot, Lewis Collins, and Bogle up front. Or Nevers, Wilmot, Bogle. Something like that. Even get someone who knows to stable the ship. Yeah, like I said, I don't want anyone associated with Newport County. Nobody. I don't want anyone associated with Newport County as the next manager, just because we can't afford it. We cannot afford to have an association with the manager. Look at, for example, Manchester United, right? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a massive legend of the football club. When it started to get sour, it was hard for a lot of players, a lot of fans, to say Ollie out because of the love and the respect for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that those fans had. If this goes really toxic from this point on with Rowberry, it's going to be hard for a lot of fans to say Rowberry out because he's a Newport lad. And it's like ditching, it's like grassing on a Newport man. It's like ditching a Newport person. It's not nice. But at the end of the day, it's for the betterment of the football club, and it's for the progression of the football club. That's the difference. That's the difference in getting rid of James Rowberry. If this was, I don't know, for example, if this was David Artell, for example. Say this was 2 years down the line, David Artell was doing this, and then he was performing bad. It'd be like, Artell out, get rid of him. But because he is a Newport man, because he's, Newport born and bred, it's a lot harder for fans to let go. For me, I'm like, do you know what? Fuck the fact that he's a Newport boy. Fuck that for a laugh. If you're not good enough to take us forward, go. That's how I'm feeling right now. If you're not good enough to progress us as a football club, then go. Because realistically, he's not progressed us. In fact, we've got worse under James Rowberry than we did under Michael Flynn. Worse than Michael Flynn. Last season, towards the back end of last season, we were abysmal. We were absolutely abysmal towards the back end of last season. We probably could have got a playoff place towards like March, April time. But we absolutely fucked it. Losing to Hartlepool, losing to Colchester, losing to Rochdale, losing to Crawley at home. These were home games. We've not improved. We have not improved. Big up to Luca. Thanks for watching. We have not improved under James Rowberry. Let's have a look at the vote, see if it's changed. Yeah, not even, 32% saying keep him. Look, like I said, I don't want this to be a James Rowberry slander stream. That's not what I want this to be. I want this to be us seeing what has gone wrong at this club. How can we solve it? What is the next step? For me, I'd say go. I'd say cut ties. I'd say cut ties, and I'd say let's just part on good ways. Well, not good ways, but you know what I mean. Let's not let this get toxic, because say we lose to Forest Green. Yes, I know it's the Papa John's Trophy, so let's not really take too much consideration into that. Say we lose to Carlisle next week. Then we're frustrated. Say we then go and lose to Leyton Orient the week after. Then we're getting really toxic now. Now it's getting really bad. Say we then go and lose to Rochdale in a potential 6-pointer at Rodney Parade in a couple of weeks' time. Then it's go. Then it's you have to go. He's got to give it. He has got himself one game. One, maybe 2 games if he's not sacked by Saturday. If he's sacked by Saturday, we move on, we go forward. If he isn't sacked by Saturday, you get Carlisle, and you get Leyton Orient, and then you're gone. That's my thoughts on it. Like I said, do you know what? I will drop the link in the chat. Do you know what? I'll drop the link in the chat. We'll get Newport fans and we'll get neutrals on. You have to put your camera on, so I'm not going to get anyone that hasn't got their camera on, just because I don't want it to I don't want to get anyone on that may be a troll or anything like that. So if you do want to come on and have your say, I'm going to keep the lines open for the next 10 minutes possibly, so you can come on, have your say, whether you're a Newport fan, non-Newport fan. I'm not going to give loads of people a lot of time, because I want to try and maybe get a few people on if we can. Bear with me 2 seconds. Right, there we go. So if you do want to come on, do click the link in the chat. I'll put on a few more times. Let me pin it in the chat, actually. That'll be... oh, didn't mean to do that. Right, I will pin it in the chat. So if you do want to come on, have your say, like I said, come on, have your say on the James Rowberry situation. Like I said, don't have to be a Newport fan. You can be a neutral fan as well. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys say. Like I said, no one will... So Chris, if you want to jump on, Luca or Anonymous, anyone that wants to jump on, you can, as long as you turn your camera on. Then that'll be good. Right, let's read a few more comments before we try and potentially get someone in. Leyton Orient was shit last season, and they get Richie Wellens, an experienced manager who won Swindon the league, and they are pissed in the league. 1-9, drew 1. Absolutely. This is what I mean. It's exactly what I mean. Get someone in who knows this league. You expect to lose to Barrow, but however, isn't the point. If you want to perform, win match. Don't know what you're all about there, Luca. I mean, that's common sense, mate. If you want to improve, you've got to win matches. No fucking shit, mate. Of course. Jesus. Only time club legends. Oh, I knew he was going to say that. Fair play to Paul Simpson. That's probably one of the only exceptions for that. This isn't Newport of what I saw last season. I expected you challenge for the playoffs, mate. This season looks like a relegation battle at this rate. Look, I said at the start of the season we'll finish in the playoffs. And that was based off last season being so close to getting it, thinking we can get it, we are good enough. And I don't know, we just collapsed. We just collapsed. Like I said, we've got worse. We have got worse under James Rowberry. And I hate saying it because he seems like a nice man. Funny enough, I was actually gonna get him on the channel a few months ago for an interview. Forgot to reply back to him because he asked for a time and stuff like that. Forgot to reply back to him. I'm glad I didn't now because We could be sacked very soon. And that'll be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Welcome to the channel, James Rowberry. 2 weeks later, I'm doing a video on you getting sacked. It wouldn't have been the best channel content that I've done, would it? Let's be honest. We should quick sell Matt Dolan. Look, I don't get the... Look, the players are at fault. Don't get me wrong. The players are at fault. However, at the end of the day, there's some accountability has got to be taken on the manager. The manager is leading them out to do a role. There has to be some accountability when that target or that ambition doesn't get matched. Again, today we were embarrassing today. Absolutely embarrassing. We got embarrassed by Barrow. We were the better team on the ball, but made nothing with it. We had more possession than them. We had more passing than them, but we just couldn't do anything with it. We received the ball, and it's like, oh, shit. What do we do now, sort of thing. That's what it felt like today. That's what it felt like. It really just felt like, what's the point? What is the fucking point? That's what it felt like today. We were stood in the ground, just looking at the fucking clouds for fuck's sake. Literally looking at the clouds, thinking, bloody hell, what a nice day it is today. Whilst there's a football match going on, like literally right in front of me, but I'm like, what's the point in watching that? That's shit. I don't know what happens next. Look, I could be sat here tomorrow, the day after, next week, doing a video or doing a live stream reaction to James Rowberry getting the sack. That's, might what happen. But, jump on, Chris. Jump on, mate. Absolutely, we'll get you on. But not all accountability needs to be on James Rowberry. You need to look at Darren Kelly as well and some of those players that aren't playing for him. Look, don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. Let's just say I'm not a happy bunny with these last results. Look, the thing is, I am 100% honest with what I'm about to say. If I'm in the wrong when I'm making a complaint or a statement or something like that, I will say, look, I'm wrong. Fair play. He's proved me wrong. But right now, I cannot see a way out for James Rowberry. It is going down, 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 down. It is getting rock bottom. He is, digging underground at this point. It's going that far down. Like, today, we were toothless. We were absolutely fucking toothless today. We were absolutely pathetic in the final third. We get the ball to the final third and we panic. It's in the final third and we're like, what do we do? What do we do? We don't know what to do. Our heads go. About Darren Kelly, I will go into this. Because there is... We'll wait for Chris Welch to come on. We'll wrap these... We'll have a look at these few comments. We'll probably get Chris on. And then we'll probably wrap it up towards then. Because I'm getting fucking annoyed at this, to be honest. Some people generally think I have an agenda against this manager. It's embarrassing. It's fucking lazy. If you think I have an agenda, then fuck off. Generally. If you think I have an agenda against this manager, then fuck off. Oh, I can't be asked with you on my channel. If you don't, and you actually agree with my opinions, or not agree with them, but you accept my opinions, then welcome. Welcome to the channel. Darren Kelly has to take some responsibility. Sporting director, or whatever his actual official role is, the negotiation of transfers, he does have to take responsibility. But it's then also down to the manager to say, no, that signing doesn't suit my style of play. That signing is not for me. Let's leave that one. But no, James Rowberry, yes, yes, yes. He seems like a yes man at the moment. We're not even coached, Mike. Any decent coach team would beat us. Would beat that Barrow team. Absolutely. We made Barrow look good today. Don't get me wrong, they're a decent looking side, but we made them world class today. They counter-attacked us. Both goals were down to just no one picking up the runners. The first ball got played from Harrison Neal into Josh Gordon. Gordon taps it past Nick Townsend, 1-0. Second goal, ball gets played right over to the left-hand side. Hayden Lindley brings him down, penalty, goal, 2-0. And then we make the sub, by the way. I'm sorry, this just makes me laugh, right? We made our first sub 10 minutes after they scored their second fucking goal. For fuck's sake. We need a cam, Paul, going forward today. Yeah, we did have a cam last season, Finn Azaz. Fantastic player, Finn Azaz. Absolutely unbelievable player, and you can see why he's at League One. Big up, Rich. Thanks for tuning in. Read these last few comments. I can see Chris is in the background. You battered us, Walsall, for I still don't know how we beat you 1-0. That game we played decent, but again, it was patchy. He doesn't have enough experience to turn it around. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm worried about. I don't think he can get out of this. Look, I hope he can, because, like I said, I've not got an agenda against him. I want him to succeed. If he's succeeding, that means we're succeeding. So I want him to turn it around. I just don't think it can. 1 clean sheet all season. Stop. You're making me feel sick. I'm not too sure. Oh, Barrow's first. Sorry, I'm blanking out there. Barrow's first should have never happened. Complete lapse of judgment. Yeah, the ball gets played into Harrison Neal, and when that ball gets played to Harrison Neal, I think, I could be wrong, so don't slate me, but I think it was either Carson who cuts across and allows the runner in behind, and then it's game over in that instance. I think we need new owners as well. Being fan-owned will never get us out of this league. Do you know what? I think that never gets spoken about enough. Being fan-owned is a massive kryptonite to our progression as a football club, because the fans are going to obviously want what's best for the football club, but on the flip side of that, they haven't got enough sort of legal authorities or legal power to enforce something crucial to happen. Last comment, then we will get Chris in. Everyone has their own opinions, from the chairman to the players, about their club, so feel free, Mike. Absolutely. And talking about opinions, we are going to get a neutral fan in, which is Chris Welch, Carlisle United fan. Chris Paul of Carlisle will do it as well. A bit better than Newport, but we won't really go into Carlisle because we don't like talking about good teams on this channel. So what would you say about this Newport situation at the moment as a neutral?
I think it was. I didn't see it coming start the season, but I said back end of last season, where I think it was February, March. I think it was after you beat us at front and back. You were near the top. And it just fell away in April, May time, and I think you ended up finishing mid-table. I don't know remember where you finished.
I don't want to remember, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So I finished on the back end of last season as well, and start this season. Obviously, he's got his own. I said it with loads of managers now. They did that second season where they did their own transfer window, full transfer window, as in the summer, and he did his own players in, and I have to agree with your transfer window. To be honest with you, obviously when you do each video, when you sign a new player, I always say great video as well. But yeah, I didn't want to be too hard. But I think Omar Boulder was the only sign I was impressed with, along with Aaron Wilded. But Aaron Wilded obviously seems to be the E2 version of Navigator these days. So he's just an injury prone. And the thing with the new ownership is that it's okay shouting, barking at the moon for new owners. The only problem is who's going to buy. Who's going to buy Newport, really? Because there's not many people. There's not many local people out there who would buy Newport, and yes, some American came around that end up buying Troy for some reason, but I was you were waiting for me to mention a certain Canadian, weren't you?
Yes, absolutely so.
with Eric Dennis. But I think the players, I think the manager needs to take responsibility as well, because
Yeah,
he pissed the players, and when you first appointed him as well, I was like, okay, give him a chance, but I wasn't really too keen of him being a dud appointment for Newport because of his previous. What do people look at? They look at the CV, don't they? They look at the CV. What's your previous experience? And with all due respect, under 23s at Cardiff, completely different levels to manage to being a proper manager or head coach sort of thing. Because manager and head coach can be obviously different. Because manager, you're in charge of transfers. Head coach, you're not in charge of transfers sort of thing.
yeah. Anonymous. Sorry to cut you off. Anonymous makes a good point. He says apparently Carlisle created quite a lot of chances. Would be worried going into that game. Obviously, you are a Carlisle fan. Would you agree with that? Because I'm not confident for Saturday. I said our next few games are difficult. Carlisle at home, followed by a trip to Leyton Orient, who are unbeaten, and then a 6-pointer at home to Rochdale. And I don't see where a win is coming from at the moment.
I mean, the thing with that comment is, I keep saying like, I keep saying like every time about Carlisle, like they are clinical nuts, not clinical with their chances, not putting them chances away, because if we put them chances away, we'd be there'll be 2 Colombian teams near the top. And but that's what gives you a bit of hope, in my opinion. Like, we don't put our chances away, and to be fair, we have been dipped in goals as well. Like dipped in goals away as well. That's not negative and say about us, but
I agree, Lloyd. Do you know what? I've held back James Rowberry out. Get him gone. I've had enough. Like,
he
loads.
sound like Doug West is so God, man, from
There's,
Arsenal fans.
there was a poll on the Newport County Facebook group, and there's just like I'd probably say 65 to 75% saying out. I think they've just had enough. There was boos at full time. There was fans leaving at the 75th minute. They've had enough. And there's Lloyd saying Rowberry out. There's Mike Rowberry has to go. There's no other way to put it. To me, Mike, it's same shit, different season. Anonymous says, I'm pretty sure they're second for big chances created in League Two, Carlisle, like Chris just said.
But the scoreboard's the only thing that matters.
He says, we'll beat Carlisle. It'll be a Rowberry masterclass. He will have to save his Newport career, become a legend, come back to this.
That's what I'm worried about.
Look, like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion, which I'm going to ask you for the big question in a second. But like I said, I don't disagree with any of your points regarding, obviously, Rowberry. I think he has to take a lot of responsibility. Like I mentioned before I got you on, a few minutes before I got you on, that the sporting director does have to take some responsibility. But then again, my point,
him as well,
the manager also has to have the final say. So the manager could easily say, I don't want to sign that player. He's got the final say in the matter. And Rowberry seemed to just say yes to it.
I mean, Ozzy Sansara, we had him at Carlisle. He was decent, but that was only it was only a short spell.
And that's another one that's injured. Him and Aaron Wildig injured in the first 2 months of the season. That's what I said at the start of the stream. Like, when you sign
injury prone, Sansara though.
When you sign these players, you've got to have a look at their injury record. When was the last time we made a half decent chance in one match? You tell me. That's what I'm on about. This is what I mean. I just look, when I set the stream, like I said, when I got home, or at full time, I was like, right, okay, let me just sort of debrief, go back, look at the game, look at my thoughts on it, and I was like, do you know what? Actually, give him time. He may be good enough. And I got home and I was like, no, I'm still annoyed. So I was like, why am I still annoyed? I was like, why am I still so angry? I was looking, and then I just went into a load of stats. I looked at the transfers he made, how many of them start. He signed Sam Bowen, he benches him. signed Will Evans, benches him. Zanzal and Wildig both injured. It just seems like none of the Zimba signed him on loan from Cardiff, benches him. So that's what I mean. And Hayden Lindley today, Newport home debut, gives away a penalty and loses the game essentially at 2-0. So I was looking at that. I was looking at his home form. We're 23rd in the league for home form. And I just don't see any way back. The question is, do you see any way back? Is he gone, or do you think he gets a chance? Or where does he go? Because I say if he's not gone by Saturday, I think he gets until the Rochdale game, personally.
Well, that's going to be a 6-pointer for you. Then what's taking away, isn't it? But I hope, obviously, as a Carlisle fan, he gets a chance. Well, he's given to the Carlisle then. And then I'm not too bothered what happens after that, for all due respect. But obviously, for your sake, I hope he's done after that game, obviously. But it's going to be interesting one to see, because we don't know what's going to happen like 1 day, 2 days time, and it's like with Chris Beach when he last season with us, 3-0 defeat to Bristol Rovers. I did not expect him to be sacked, and he was straight away, due to obviously our problems we had. But I think he will be given to the Carlisle then, personally. And
do you think lose that and he's gone?
Yeah, well, especially if it's at home as well, at Wadley Parade, with your fans as well. You don't. That's the game you don't want to be using. You then potentially beating that, because that's another thing you've got to be worried about. That we are due to give one team a battering with the chances we have created at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all remains to be seen. It's ye too as well, so you just never know.
Yeah, I'll read these last few comments and then I will get someone else on. Lloyd says 1 shot on target in 3 games and it was a shit shot, and not scoring games at all and not defending at all. Luke says he'll happily come on, so click the link, Luke, and I'll get you on after Chris. Connor says he's been awful, like it's not like it's been this season. It was awful towards the end of last season. Greg says there's a Starman. Oh no, we're getting the Newport happy clappers in. So sorry, Greg, I had to say that. So thanks for tuning in, Chris. Like I said, you're not a Newport fan, so thanks for coming in and showing your support. Do go and drop Chris Welch a sub. He is a Carlisle fan. I'm sure we're going to do something before Saturday's game at Rodney.
And obviously, did my first watch on today.
Yeah, I saw that. Nearly 400 views, which is absolutely incredible. So big up to Chris.
Even though it was Man City, so we all knew what the results were going to be.
Chris Welch on YouTube. He's nearly at 200 subscribers, so do check him out on there. And Greg says, "Thanks, Chris. Good opinions." So thanks for tuning in.
That's what I'm all about.
Honest. So thanks, Chris, for coming in and showing your thoughts. And we'll speak to you later.
No worries. See you, mate.
Thank you. Right, we are waiting for Luke to come in. We will get Luke's thoughts on the situation as well, and then we'll probably wrap it up there, guys, because we don't want to obviously go on all night, because I know how frustrating listening to this result can be. So we are joined by Luke. Obviously, presuming you was at the game today.
Yeah, mate. I was.
The floor's yours, mate. The stream's all yours. What do you want to say?
I think something has to change. It's going to go on for too long.
Yeah. Tactics, substitutions, transfers. What's gone wrong with James Rowberry? Or is it all James Rowberry? Some people, because like I said, I've titled it "What's Gone Wrong at Newport." Is it all James Rowberry? Are we being overreactive, or are we right with what we're saying?
I think he just doesn't. I don't really know how to say what I feel about him, but when I first heard that he was our manager, I was really happy about that. A nice, after Flinney, it just seemed like the right decision. But now, some of the subs he made, I didn't see the point in Zimba coming on at the end. To me, he doesn't really offer anything compared to our other strikers that we have.
Yeah.
But we have players going forward.
Sorry, go on.
That's all right. We'd have players going forward like Neves, who obviously being a West Ham fan, I love seeing him play. He's good on a ball, but he doesn't offer a lot with his shooting. He would seem to just stop in the middle and then lose the ball.
Yeah,
which is something that we just need to stop the little mistakes.
Yeah, you look at his signings though, and like I mentioned this earlier, I mentioned it especially to Chris. Sam Bowen doesn't get played, Aaron Wildig injured, Zanzala injured, Will Evans benched. I mean, he's bringing these players in, and I just don't think he can use them.
No, I think we have a lot of players in the same position, and I think he's finding it hard to play the ones that he wants to play the most. He seems to, for me, Rowberry really likes James Waite, but I don't see what James Waite is doing in training to start every game, because to me, he just seems clueless on the pitch.
Greg mentions that Wildig was a poor signing, but I thought it was actually a good signing. He's experienced at this level. He's won promotion with Morecambe out of League Two. I thought it was a really good signing. I thought it was a statement signing. I just don't think we've done a background check on him. I think he is a bit injury prone, which is a bit unfortunate. But again, like I said, that's got to come down to the manager, signing injury prone players. What about the tactics today then? I mean, look, 3 defeats on the bounce, 2 home defeats on the bounce, both losing 2-0 in both of them. We've got Carlisle. Well, forget Forest Green in the Papa John's Trophy. We've got Carlisle next week on Saturday. Then we go to Leyton Orient, who are top of the league, flying. And then we've got potentially a 6-pointer against Rochdale.
We got a lot of tough games coming up, and I think it was always going to be a tough game today, playing against a good side. No disrespect to them, they are a good side, but I don't think they played that well today either. I think we offered more going forward, but we gave away some stupid goals. Really, the second one didn't need to slide in to give away the penalty. It was just poor mistakes, really.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the ball gets played over to that left-hand side, or their left-hand side, our right-hand side, and Hayden Lindley just, I don't know why he's thinking that. First of all, I thought it was initially Cameron Norman who actually, fouled him, but Norman was further back towards inside the box, and Lindley just brings him down at a pure desperation of losing the ball, and he just chops the legs, and it's always a penalty. You can't argue that, but it's just silly errors in the game that cost us. And maybe I think he got the selection wrong today as well. I don't think it was the type of game to play Lindley. I probably would have put Bowen in there. They seem to be an energy team. Barrow, they used the ball quickly. They were very physical in midfield. I just think, like someone said earlier, I can't remember what the exact comment was. I think it was like something to do with. Actually, I'll find it. It was something to do with. I'm not too sure. He's got the. I don't think he's experienced enough to get out of this. Can't remember. Well, anyway, so basically, someone said that they don't think James Rowberry is experienced enough to get himself out of this. Can he get himself out, or do you think that he's probably just taken this a bit too far now?
I think it's gone too far for him, to be honest. I think if results had started to go our way, I think at the start of the season we weren't doing too badly, but it's going on and on and on. I think I saw us nine losses in like our last 10 home games, and our fans like to make themselves heard at the stadium, but today it just seemed a bit of a hostile there. It didn't seem like the same Newport County fans that it always has been.
Yeah.
And I think, Rowberry.
God, sorry, carry on.
That's right. I think Rowberry. Well, this is his first like proper manager job by himself, and I think he needs to. I think he just needs to look at himself and try and feel what the fans are feeling,
Yeah.
and it's. I do like him, Rowberry. I think he's a good manager, but his team selections, they don't seem to be as good as what they could be. And Ferguson in defence, for me, I don't think he's he's good, he's strong, but I think that's all there is to him. I
Yeah.
don't think he's that good.
On the ball, he is absolutely liability. He receives the ball, and like I said, I didn't want to single out players earlier when I said this, but now you mentioned it, I may as well. When he receives the ball, it seems very rushed. It seems, what am I doing? Shake, shake, shake. Just boot the ball. There's no sort of bring the ball down, control it, play it. Like you look at Mickey Demetrio next to him. Demetrio receives the ball, he brings it down. He's like, right, where can I play it? Left, right, or through the middle? But Ferguson, it's just so rushed, so in desperation. Chris says James Rowberry won't get another job in English football after this. Lloyd says, I like Sambo and he gives aggression, which we did not have today. Exactly. I said play Sam Bowen. I don't know why you bring Sam Bowen in and just don't play him. It just doesn't make sense. He thinks he can rotate the team, but he can't. And the last one before we answer another question. The atmosphere is blunt today. I don't think anyone could be bothered to chant because of our performances recently. And this is a concerning thing as well. The attendances are dropping, which could then
they are.
This could then lead into financial problems, which I don't want to talk about here, but we could look at financial losses on lack of fans and fans regretting to not regretting but refusing to go to the games. So you mentioned that you don't think he can get out of it. Does James Rowberry get until Carlisle, or does he go before the Carlisle game?
I think for the sake of the club and the fans, I like him. I'd love to have him to the end of the season. But the way that results are going, I think our board has to do something now before the next game. If we lose the next game at home again, I think he'll be gone, which it'll be a shame for me, to be honest. I don't think he's that bad. It's just performances from the players that he's putting his trust in.
Yeah. That's a big point that you just brought a big point on there. He's putting his trust in James Waite. He's putting his trust in, the players that he's playing, James Waite, Adam Lewis, at times Hayden Lindley, give him the chance again from the start. Obviously he come on at Stevenage in midweek. He gives him the start today. Bogle, maybe not in the best of his form in the last couple of games, still keeping his faith. Do you think the players are starting to sort of down tooling for Rowberry, or do you think that's a bit far-fetched?
I think they might just be feeling the fans' frustration on their backs, to be honest. It doesn't help that they're trying to put their all on the pitch, but when the fans are constantly, moaning, shouting, like swearing at them, I understand that it must be hard for the players. Yeah.
Well, look, I agree with Anonymous here. If he does get the Carlisle game, like I said, I don't think whatever the result is Tuesday night against Forest Green, I shouldn't imagine that would have any impact on his job security. I don't think if he loses that, he would get sacked, because we'll probably see a rotated team. We'll probably see Joe Day start. We'll probably see Will Evans start, Sam Bowen. Probably see Clark at the back. Probably see Hayden Lindley again, maybe, and Zimba up front. It'll be a rotated squad against Forest Green. So if he does get the Carlisle game and he loses that, that'll be 3 home games on the bounce. Losing 3 home games on the bounce. that'll be 4 defeats in a row, or league anyway. And yeah, I'd probably say that would have to go. But there were some boos at full time, to be fair. Wildig, not Wildig says. Chris says Wildig is actually awful.
I don't think he is, to be honest.
I wouldn't say he's awful. I just think he's just so injury prone. If he wasn't so injury prone, I agree with Connor, to be fair. He's got more chance of beating Leicester than he got Carlisle. That's actually...
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
You should just bin off League 2 and just go all out to win the Carabao Cup. That's what we should do. That's what we should do.
We could, to be fair. We could.
With the World Cup, teams, are going to be struggling post-World Cup. No, I'm dreaming. Anyway, Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure getting you on. What's your final thoughts on the situation? Obviously, you said Rowberry gets the Carlisle game. What do you see the next couple of weeks in store? Do you see him, before we let go, do you see him beating Carlisle? Do you think him losing? Or, when do you think he'll sack? Anything like that?
I think we could win next week with the right team selection. But any matches after that, if he loses next week, he goes. But if we win next week, if we do win next week, it's gonna change everything, really, isn't it? So, but I'd love to see Rowberry have more time. But the way the results are going, I can't see him lasting next week, if I'm being totally honest. Yeah,
like I said, I completely agree with you, to be fair. Completely agree. Well, I'll probably do a post-match review after every game, potentially, because I've really enjoyed this. Obviously, everyone's enjoying it because we're shit at the moment. Anyway, thanks for joining in, Luke. We'll surely get you on the channel at some point in the future. But thanks for dropping in and giving your thoughts.
Yeah, mate. Anytime.
Cheers. Thanks, Luke. So we've had a Carlisle fan and a Newport fan to both give their thoughts. Let's get some other fans, because I didn't just want this to be me, all my opinion. Look, we've had a Carlisle fan and a Newport fan. Both have said, time to go, basically. Let's read a few more comments. Like I said, I'll put the link in one more time. If anyone else does want to come in, this is your last opportunity, because I'm going to read these last few comments, react to these comments, and then we'll be wrapping it up. So if you do want to get in and have your say on James Rowberry and this situation, then please click the link, click the StreamYard link. You don't have to keep your camera on. Just put your camera on backstage so I can obviously see that you're not a troll. And then if you want to turn your camera off whilst speaking, you can do so. Because I do want to get your thoughts on this. I really do want to get your thoughts on this. I know it's a big subject to talk upon. So thanks to Chris, thanks to Luke for obviously for coming on. So yeah, if you do want to come and have your say, like I said, you don't have to keep your camera on. Just turn it on when you join the studio, and then you can turn it off. So I just know you're not a troll. Ironic, Rowberry was appointed Newport manager in October last year against, you guessed it, Carlisle. Yeah, I was actually late to that game. I remember that. I got in like 2 minutes before. No, I don't know if it was that game actually, but I got to a game 2 minutes after kickoff, and there was already been a goal, which was annoying. So yeah, boos at full time does mean the clock is running down for a manager. Agreed. If he gets through Carlisle, we got Leighton Orient. Yeah, that's obviously the link, like I said. So if you do want to come on, you've probably got like 5 minutes. Because I'll probably take this to 2 hours. Yeah, I'll take this to 2 hours. So we've got 10 minutes left, which I'll just wrap up and talk about my final thoughts, etc., etc. Actually, what we could potentially do is bring up the James Rowberry press conference. Right, let me have a look at. Let me see how long the James Rowberry press conference is, and we might share the stream and watch the press conference together potentially. Right, is this it? Right, let me see how long this press conference is on for, and then we may react to it on stream together. So let me just quickly load it up. We can see how long it is, and then right, it's 4 minutes long. Yeah, we'll do that on stream. That's what we'll do. We'll share the screen for his press conference, and we'll react to it together. Yeah, that's good. We'll do that. There's only one thing I'm excited about this year is Wales. Literally, Lloyd. Literally, 100%. Rumours that Rowberry is looking to bring in Tony Hibbert. Oh, God. Enjoyed that, Mike. Thanks for letting me say my opinion. Always appreciated. You're very welcome. Good idea. Putting link in, giving viewers their say. Yeah, I'm probably going to do something like this going forward. He waffles the interview, doesn't talk like a proper manager. Right. This is going to be interesting then. Let's put this on. Right, let's put this on. We'll go full screen. Actually, first of all, let me do something on the interview. Dislike. Right, let's go through this together then. Right, we'll take this. No, what we'll do is we'll do that. And we'll make sure it's not on mute. Right, let's go through this together then.
Is it two ends that lay you down for boxes?
I totally agree. With regards to it, we had some build-up play, which we worked on and we looked better at it. But ultimately, we've not been good enough in both boxes. Not punching enough in there. Not acceptable what we're trying to do. And then we can talk about tactics and shapes and formations, but you can't legislate for individual errors. You can't.
I want to talk about tactics, but you can't legislate for individual errors. Why can't you talk about tactics? Because you haven't got a fucking clue about tactics, man. Oh, do you know what? This is gonna be fun, isn't it? He's saying he doesn't want to talk about tactics because he doesn't have any. That's the thing here. Doesn't have any tactics to talk about.
I can't legislate for it, and it's a massive frustration for me at the minute.
Should your defence have been more alert for their first goal?
The first goal is just another example of what we've been doing. Just another example of the goals we conceded. Just that middle of the pitch where it's kind of that routine kick that we should.
Again, I'm sorry to slate a guy, but you can just see in the interview he's struggling. You know, he's struggling to answer the questions. He's looking at the floor. His attention to detail is very limited.
Be dealing with. We've dealt with it for 44 minutes, played some decent football, all right, not really gotten their goal enough. But to be 1-0 down at half time is harsh, but we conceded a poor goal.
And the second half penalty, I don't suppose you've got any complaints, but Lindley just showed his inexperience there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he recognises that, and it's we're chasing it, whether we recover back quick enough or not. I need to look back at it, but then he's running.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can. The thing is with Hayden Lindley, I can completely understand what he's saying. It is showing the inexperience of Lindley, and I completely and utterly get that. That's nothing to do with the manager. Lindley showed a lack of inexperience by fouling the player, didn't need to.
Running away from goal, Hayden doesn't need to slide in. He knows that, and we just got to show him excited. But still, then we didn't create enough after that. We had the ball a lot. We didn't create wrong.
Again, yeah, had the ball, didn't create nothing. Basically, the talk of the game, James. Didn't create fuck all, mate. You put the players on the pitch and they just don't create. So it's basically what happened all game.
What do you put it down to? Because we were saying at half, going into the end of the first half, if it's 0-0 at half time, you're quite happy because you're playing well. They're quite happy because they're defending well, and then it all changes.
And it all changes, and we don't. I just can't put my finger on it. We're conceding really sloppy goals. We're not good enough in both boxes right now.
If you're not good enough in both boxes, do something about it. Literally do something about it then. If you're not good enough in both boxes, sort that out. Simple.
You could say your strikers missed too many chances. It was the final ball often wasn't getting there, was it?
We just didn't put enough crosses in the box. We didn't supply them enough.
Thank you. Talking about tactics, didn't put enough crosses in the box. Thank you.
Right. And we've got to do that a lot better.
3 defeats on the bounce now. How do you keep going?
I've got 2 little girls at home that I need to provide for, so that's my motivation.
Oh, fucking hell. 3 defeats on the bounce. How do you go forward? I've got 2 little girls to provide for. What an absolutely timid answer that is. Oh my God. Talk about the football club. Wow. Someone mentioned that earlier in the chat and I didn't believe them really, but he actually mentioned that. Wow.
Are you concerned? I mean,
Concerned for...
well, 3 defeats on the bounce.
Yeah, I don't want to lose 3 games on the spin. Nobody does.
Concerned for what? What do you mean concerned for what? It's obvious.
But it's part and parcel of the game that we've got to bounce back from.
Is it more awkward because there are good signs in every game, but more difficult for you to put right in some ways?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, the Grimsby game wasn't great. And we defended resiliently at times at Stevenage, but obviously that one ball again that we conceded the goal from. And then you look at it with today's performance was better in phases, but it wasn't completely amazing at times because we didn't create enough chances.
At least he's mentioning the fact that we don't create enough chances. Like I will hats off to him. He's coming out and saying that he's not creating enough chances. So he is actually, sort of rectifying the issues that are, completely and obviously, sort of honest with, basically.
Is it worse when you lose at home in front of these people? Because you can sense the frustrations.
Yeah, I sense the frustrations. I'm just as frustrated as them. I am. I really am.
If you're as frustrated as us, then leave. Leave.
What happens this week now, then?
We play Forest Green Tuesday, we play Carlisle then on Saturday, and we need performances and we need results.
It's too early to...
Again, poor answer. What do we do going... What have you got coming up this week? We've got Forest Green and we've got Carlisle and we need results and we need performances. Why can't you say, we'll go to training Monday morning, or even tomorrow, we're going to have an emergency session training tomorrow. We're going to rectify these issues. We're going to make sure we stamp these problems down right now. Nothing. Absolute nothing. No games were great. Big up. I'm in work, so can't stay long. We'll rewatch later. Big up, Reese from Swans Away Days. Thanks for tuning in. First time listening to Rowberry in an interview. Wow, he does waffle. And that answer I got girls to provide for. With respect, you should be saying this to the fans and for the football club. 2 little girls, what a joke. Someone who's confident in his being successful, like Pep, looks at the camera, no problem in an interview. Yeah, Pep's... when Pep does an interview, he's bloody laughing at the camera. Right, let's carry on.
The panic, isn't it? I mean, you're not at the right end of the table, but I suppose your ultimate goal is getting further away at the moment.
Yeah, we've got to produce more than what we're producing at the minute. I looked at different things from last season and league tables. I think Bristol Rovers were on point at this stage, and then I look at where...
Why is he comparing us to Bristol Rovers? Don't get me wrong, you can look at last season, but why are you saying this is where Bristol Rovers were last season? We fucking fuck going to get into the playoffs or get automatics with this manager. No. Fuck Bristol Rovers. Who gives a shit about them?
Exeter were
see, this is what I mean. Struggling.
at one point. I look at where Mansfield were at one point. So there's still optimism. There's still light at the end of the tunnel. We've got to keep believing. We've just got to put things right.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, frustration. Is that compounded by you have to say the same things every week? They're not really learning from mistakes. Is that fair?
Well, we're not learning from mistakes because you can see it with the goals we're conceding. So
how can we not be learning from mistakes? How can we not be learning from mistakes week upon week upon week upon week? There's got to be something that is said in training to work on these mistakes. Surely it's annoying for Rowberry to come out and completely say the same thing week upon week upon week. But it's his fault by not rectifying the issues. Poor.
it's not through lack of effort. I won't say that about all players. It's not through lack of effort. It's not through lack of try. It's schoolboy defending at times.
What can you do about that?
Got to keep practicing it. Got to keep working on it.
Got to keep working on it, eh? Trust the process by the looks of it.
You keep changing systems, you keep changing personnels, but I can't legislate for individual errors. And it's
Why is he's blaming everyone but himself? He's literally blaming everything but himself. Individual errors, bad defending, individual errors, lack of concentration. He is literally saying everything other than I was in the wrong today. I was in the wrong today. It's always himself. It's always the players. Poor.
It's a lonely place in that dugout when it's not going our way. So I'm responsible for it. It's the team that I put together. It's the team that I've selected. It's the tactics we put in. But individually, at times we need to be better.
Wow, that is that is the James Rowberry press conference reaction or post-match reaction to defeat to Barrow, and very poor. You know, there's things in there that are like questionable. Like, why is he saying that? Why is he constantly blaming everyone else but himself? Take a few more comments and then we're going to wrap this up because we've been going for 2 hours, which is crazy. Bristol Rovers had a decent squad last season and a bigger budget. And Chris says, actually, Exeter were near the top at this point. See what I mean? His answers are so effing stupid. YouTube account, big up. He says, nothing is going right here at Cheltenham. The inconsistency makes you really unenthusiastic about Wade Elliott. Lloyd says the next Arteta. What's going on at Newport? A lot. Not just Barrow, every game. And Connor says, when we play Orient, we will lose 9-0. Anyway, guys, that's where we're going to wrap this stream up. I've gone through today's game. I've gone through the whole season, the transfers, the subs, his interview today. Let me know in or on my community tab. I'm going to drop 2 polls on the community tab. The first one, shall I do a post-match review, including a press conference reaction from James Rowberry? And the other poll will be, shall I do a press conference reaction before the game? I might just do, actually, quickly let me know. I'll quickly do a quick poll now. Right, so I've put in the chat post-match reviews with interviews after the games, like I've done today, but like for every single game. So after every game, review the game, get do a live reaction of his press conference, and I'll also include opening up the line. So getting your guys' opinion, getting your guys' thoughts on the results and on the performances during any given game. Like I said, a very long one today. I wanted to get this point across. What's going wrong at Newport and stuff like that. Are you James Rowberry in or out? The poll, 67% say James Rowberry out, 33% say James Rowberry in. Going to leave you with that, guys. Newport County are in a mess. Thanks for watching this stream. It really does mean a lot. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Are you James Rowberry in, out? I'll see you in the next one. Up the county.